All right, this is your Chapter 8, Part 1 review. You're going to turn this in on Thursday. I think it's Thursday, whenever you take your test, okay? So, here we go. Number 1 says, write 5x cubed minus 3x plus 4x5 plus 7 in standard form. So what you want to do on these is you want to look at your exponents and put them in order from greatest to least. So remember, if it doesn't have an exponent, that means that this is going to be 1. So what we have here is the first thing, the greatest exponent that I have is 4x to the 5th power. So 4x to the 5th power. If you would like to, you can cross it off. So 5x cubed, so that's gone, minus 3x, so that's gone, and then plus 7, and that's in standard form. Okay, number 2 says find 8t squared plus 3t minus 6 minus t squared minus 2t plus 5. So what you're doing here is combining like terms. The first thing you need to do is you need to rewrite it without the parentheses. So you have 8t squared plus 3t minus 6. Okay, now you have this negative 1 that you have to distribute to everything inside. Now remember, when it's negative, all it does is change the signs. So it becomes a negative t squared, it becomes a positive 2t, and it becomes a negative 5. Now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So I have an 8t squared here minus a t squared here. Your positives are winning, so it's going to be positive, and they are up by 7, so you have 7t squared. Now I'm going to look at my t's. So I have 3 t's and I have 2 t's. They both are the same sign, so we're going to add those together. So when I add those together, 3 plus 2 gives me 5, so there's 5t. And then the last thing that I have is a negative 6 and a negative 5. Okay, again, those are the same sign, so it's a negative 6 and 5. You add those together to give you 11. There's nothing else you can combine, so that's your final answer. All right, same thing for number 3. We're going to go ahead and rewrite this without the parentheses. So we have 3a squared times 6a minus 6. So first thing I have to do is distribute this 3a squared to everything inside. If you would like to, okay, you can do a box method for just this piece. 3a squared, and then you have 6a minus 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this part. 3 times 6 is 18. A squared times a, you add your exponent, so 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18, and don't forget the a squared. So that's this part multiplied out. So we have 18 a cubed minus 18 a squared. So there's the first part. Now I have this negative 4a I have to distribute to everything in here. So again, you can use your box method. Just got to make it a little bit longer. So we have negative 4a, then we have a squared minus 2a plus 5. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. A times a squared, 1 plus 2 is 3. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. A times a, 1 plus 1 is 2, so a squared. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, and then don't forget your a. And I can go ahead and rewrite that. So negative 4a cubed plus 8a squared minus 20a. And the last thing that we have here is we have a negative 6 that we have to distribute. So again, if you want to, you can do the box method on this. You have negative 6, and then you have a minus 7. Fix my box over here. Okay, so negative 6 times a is just negative 6a. Negative 6 times negative 7 is a positive 42. So we have minus 6a plus 42. Now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So I'm going to start with my cubes. I have 18 cubes here, and I have a negative 4 here. And that's it that I have. So when I look, my positives are winning. And they are up by, why did I write 18? My positives are winning, and they are up by 14 points. So 14a cubed. Okay. Next thing I'm going to look at my squares. So I have negative 18a squared, positive 8a squared. So for this piece, negatives are winning, and they are up by 10, so 10a squared. Next piece that I'm going to look at are my a, so I have negative 20 and negative 6. Okay, so remember, if they're both the same sign, you just add them. So 20 and 6 gives me 26, and those are a's. And then I have this lovely plus 42 that I'm just going to go ahead and bring down, because there's nothing else to combine with it. So that is my final answer. All right, number 4, each side of a square is decreased by 10 units. Which expression represents the area of the new square in square units? Okay, well, there's not multiple choice on here, so we're going to go ahead and solve this out. You know all sides of a square are the same. So to find the area of a square, we're just going to multiply my length times width or side by side. So that's just going to be x minus 10 times x minus 10. Okay, so what we're going to do is the box method. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my box. We got x minus 10 times x minus 10. And we're going to go ahead and multiply this stuff out. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 10 is negative 10x. Negative 10 times x is negative 10x. Negative 10 times negative 10 is a positive 100. Remember your diagonals. That's where you combine your like terms. So we have x squared, negative 10 and negative 10, since they're the same, we add them. 10 and 10 is 20, so negative 20x plus 100. This would equal to the area. Okay, number 5, we are multiplying, and the reason why number 5 is different from, like, I don't know, number 2 and number 3, I think it's what we did, is because there's no plus or minus sign in between these parentheses, okay? So we're not going to rewrite without the parentheses, something like that. When you have everything in parentheses times everything in parentheses, we're going to do our box method. So this one, I'm going to kind of make it a little bit of a longer rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 rows, and we'll have 3 columns. So I have 5y minus 7. And I have 3y squared plus 6y minus 1. And we're just going to go box by box. So the first box, we have 5 times 3 is 15. Y times y squared, 1 plus 2 is 3. 5 times 6 is 30. Y times y, 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's y squared. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, and don't forget the y. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Don't forget the y squared. Negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. Don't forget your y. Negative 7 times negative 1 is a positive 7. And again, you're just going to go ahead and combine your diagonals, because that's where you can combine your like terms. And we're going to write this out. So the first thing that I have is I have 15y cubed. Second thing I have, my positives are winning, and they are winning by 9 points, so 9y squared. My red diagonal is just my y's, so both those are negatives, so we're going to add them together. 42 and 5 will give me negative 47y, and then we have a plus 7. Alright, number 6, we have 7a squared plus b. All of that is being squared. So what this means is you have 7a squared plus b times 7a squared plus b. So we can go ahead and do the box method for this. So we have 7a squared plus b, 7a squared plus b, and we can go ahead and multiply everything out. 7 times 7 is 49, a squared times a squared, you add your exponents, so 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 times 1 is 7, and then you just have a squared and b, because there's no other, you have your same base, so you can't add your exponents on this one. Same thing over here, you have 7a squared b, and I'll put my letters in alphabetical order. The last piece, you have b times b, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so that's b squared. Again, the only thing that you can combine are these diagonals right here. So my final answer is 49a to the 4th power. 7 plus 7 is 14, so we have 14 a squared b's, and then we have plus b squared. Alright, next one, number 7. So in this one, we're not doing the box method, because if you notice, you have this negative right here, this negative 1 that we have to distribute. So here we're going to combine like terms. So first I'm going to rewrite it, 4a minus 5. When you have that negative, it changes the sign, so minus 6a minus 8. Okay, combine like terms. We have 4a and negative 6a, so your negatives are winning, and they're winning by 2, so there's 2a. And then the other thing that I have left to combine, I have a negative 5 and a negative 8. So since they are the same sign, they're negatives, you add them. 5 plus 8 is 13. Okay, number 8. So for this one, again, if you like to use the box method, you can. This one's going to be one of your skinny boxes. So 5m squared, 4m squared, and a minus m. So we're multiplying this out. So 5 times 4 is 20. And then when you multiply, add exponents, so 2 plus 2 is 4. If you need to, don't forget this is a negative 1 in front of that m. So 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. M squared times m, 2 plus 1 is 3, so there's m cubed. So there's nothing you can combine, so your answer is just 20 m to the 4th minus 5 m cubed. Okay, so number 9, we are combining like terms, but before we do that, we have to distribute this 5 here to everything inside, and this negative x right here to everything inside. So what I'm going to do, because most of y'all like this, is the box method. So we have 5 that we're going to distribute to the x squared and the 3x. So 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times 3 is 15, and you have x. So there's your first part. 15x squared plus, not 15, that's 5. 5x squared plus 15x. Okay, and now I'm going to do the box method for the second piece. So you have x minus 6, and don't forget it's a negative x. If it helps, you can put in ones if it helps you understand this problem better. Negative 1 times positive 1 is a negative. X times x is x squared. Negative 1 times a negative 6 is a positive 6, and you have an x. So minus x squared plus 6x. Now we're going to combine like terms. So we have 5x squared minus an x squared. So your positives are winning by 4, so 4x squared. And then the other thing that I can combine is I have 15, let me do a different color, I can do blue. We have 15x and a 6x. Both of those are positive, so 15 plus 6 would give you 21, so 21x. And that's it. Alright, number 10. So number 10, we're going to do the box method on this. So I have 5n minus 4 times n plus 2. Again, if it helps, you can put a 1 right here in front of the n, and we're going to go ahead and multiply this out. 1 times 5 is 5, n times n is n squared. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4, don't forget your n. 2 times 5 is 10, don't forget the n. 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8. Again, you can just combine your diagonals. We only have 1 in this box, so we have 5n squared. Okay, you have 10 positives and 4 negatives, so your positives are winning, and they're up by 6, so you have 6n. And then minus 8. And there's nothing else for you to combine, so that's your final answer. Alright, number 11. Okay, so this is the same thing as 5y minus 6 times 5y minus 6. So I'm going to do my box method. I have 5y minus 6 times 5y minus 6. And we're going to go ahead and multiply this out. 5 times 5 is 25. Y times y is y squared. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30, and don't forget the y. Negative 6 times 5 is a negative 30, don't forget your y. Negative 6 times negative 6 is a positive 36. And again, you can combine your diagonal right here. So we have 25y squared. Because this is the same sign, we're going to add them. 30 and 30 gives me 60. And then we have plus 36. Okay, number 12, it says a square can be changed into a rectangle by increasing the length of the square by 7 units, increasing your width by 3. Which expression represents the area of the rectangle square units? So we don't have multiple choice to pick from this, but we can actually do the answer. We're trying to find the area, so make sure you pay attention to these words in here, okay? And you're going to see why on this last page. So we're finding area. Area of a rectangle is length times width. So that means we're doing x plus 7 times x plus 3. And that means I can do box method. So box method, I have x plus 7, and I have x plus 3. And we're going to fill this in. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, and again, right here, your diagonals you can combine. So we have x squared. 3 plus 7 is 10, so there's 10x plus 21. And that's it. I just want to know what the area of that rectangle is. Okay. Number 13. Which of the following polynomials shows the terms of x squared plus 6x cubed minus 5 minus 9x arranged in standard form? We don't have anything to pick from on here. You will on your test, so we're going to rewrite this. Again, look at your exponents. So 2, 3, and don't forget, this is a 1. So, and there's a 1. And we're going in order from greatest to least. So the biggest one that we have is the cube, so 6x cubed. Then we have plus x squared. then we have minus 9x, then we have minus 5. And that's it. Okay, number 14 says find x plus 5 times x minus 5. So this calls for your box method. X plus 5, x minus 5. And we're going to go ahead and complete the box. So x times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25. Combine your diagonals. So we have x squared. Negative 5 and positive 5, that's 0. Those are gone because that cancels out. So if you like to, you can draw a line through that. And so all you have is a minus 25. Okay, number 15. Same thing. We're multiplying 3x minus 4 times 3x plus 4. So I'm going to do my box. 3x minus 4, 3x plus 4. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared. Because when you multiply, you add your exponent. So 1 plus 1 gave me 2. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Don't forget the x. 4 times 3 is 12. Don't forget the x. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Again, you're just combining your diagonals. So we have 9x squared. When you look at your diagonals, you have a positive 12 and a negative 12, so that 0 pairs out. So that's gone. And then you have minus 16. And that's your final answer. All right, 16, the diagram shows the area of a rectangular living room. All dimensions are given, which expression represents the area of the living room in square feet. So again, make sure you're paying attention to these words, okay? So area, we're going to just go ahead and do our box method. Okay, because area of a rectangle is length times width, so we're going to do x plus 8 times x plus 3. So x plus 8, x plus 3, let's go ahead and multiply that out. X times x is x squared, x times 8 is 8x. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and combine my diagonals. So I have x squared. Because my diagonals have the same sign, we're going to add. So 3 plus 8 is 11, so 11x, and then we have plus 24. And there's your final answer, and that's equal to area. Okay, number 17, Claire painted an accent wall in her dining room in blue paint. The diagram shows the wall in square feet, which expression represents the area of the painted wall in square feet. So again, make sure you read very carefully, okay? This is asking for area. So area is equal to length times width. So that gives me my x plus 7 times x plus 9. So I'm going to do my box method. X plus 7, x plus 9. We're going to multiply this out. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. 9 times x is 9x. And 9 times 7 is 63. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine my diagonal. So we have x squared. 9 plus 7 is 16, so 16x, and then we have plus 63, and that's equal to my area. Okay, now this is why you need to read very carefully. Number 18, Joshua built a new rectangular animal pen for an FFA project. The dimensions are given in yards. Which expression represents the perimeter of the pen in yards? So now perimeter, you add up all your sides. So you have x plus 9 over here, and x plus 7 up here. Okay, so if you look, you have 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. So we have 4 x's. So right now, if this was your actual test, you're done. Okay, because none of those had 4 x's. But just to check to make sure we're doing this right, let's add up the numbers. So you have 9 and 7, 9 and 7. So you could add up in a calculator, you can add up in your head. I know 9 plus 7 is 16. So 16 plus 16 gives me 32. So plus 30, whoops, that's not what I wanted. So plus 32, which is B. Okay, number 19 says the theme for a school dance is solid gold. For one decoration, Corey is covering a trapezoid-shaped piece of poster board with metallic gold paper to look like a bar of gold. If the height of the poster is 18 inches, how much metallic paper will she need in square inches? Then it gives you the area, the formula for the area of a trapezoid. So what we know from this problem was that h is equal to, it tells you right here, the height of the poster board is 18 inches, so we know h is equal to 18. So let me go ahead and plug that into my picture. So if this was 18, then that would be 18 plus 1 to give me 19. This then is just 18. And this is 2 times 18 plus 4. So if you want to, you can use your calculator, do 2 times 18 plus 4, and that will give you 40. And now we're going to plug that into the formula. So your area is equal to base 1 plus base 2. So this is base 1 and this is base 2. So 19 plus 40 times that by my height, which was 18, and all of that's divided by 2. So when I plug that in, 19 plus 40 times that by 18, divide that by 2, you get 531. And this was in square inches, so inches squared. Okay, now it says to put it into your bubble your answer in. Okay, so for this one, you actually have a decimal spot. So you want 531 to go here. But on your EOC, when you have one like this, there is no decimal, so you can put your answer anywhere that you want to. All the way in the front, all the way in the back, in the middle, it doesn't matter. But since it has a decimal, we have to put the 531 in front of it. All right, and last one says find the perimeter. Okay, so again, make sure you're reading the questions carefully. You can use colors, markers, highlighters, I don't care, anything to help you with your test. This one says we're finding the perimeter. So perimeter says you have to add up all your sides. There's two ways, there's a couple ways you could do this. 3 ways really you could do this. You can write it all out. 5x plus 3 plus 5x plus 3 plus x plus 7. And combine your like terms. Okay, so you can look through, say, all right, there's 5 and 5, that gives me 10. 10 plus 1 gives me 11, so I have 11x. And then add up your numbers. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 7 is 13. Or you can look at your picture, and from your picture just say, okay, so here's 5x and 5x, which is 10. 10 plus 1 was 11. And then you can look from your picture and say 3 plus 7 was 10, and 10 plus 3 was 13. Gives me the same answer. Alright, doesn't matter as long as you know how to get the correct answer. So that is it for your review.